And I'm like, hi, my name's Kenny Glick. I guarantee money. How you doing? My name's Kenny Glick. Let me say that again. Kenny Glick, I guarantee profits. Guaranteed. Not even allowed to use that word in this industry, but I'm using it right here. I guarantee you cannot lose money shorting UVXY over any extended period of time. Prove me wrong. It's not like I'm just going to give you the money. You got to put the trade on and you got to wait, right? We're already up $22,000 in the last 5 days. And it's not even what we should be up. We should be up 2.5 million, 25 million. It's guaranteed. If I had more money to risk, I would have risked my life savings on this trade. Even when I was shorting the market, thinking that we were going to go lower, I was still shorting UVXY in my UVXY short account because that's what I do. I have now an account dedicated to shorting UVXY and shorting naked calls. It takes some buying power, and you got to, sometimes you got to wait through an up move. But here's the thing. You cannot lose money shorting UVXY over an extended period of time. It's guaranteed. Buy the prospectus, buy pro shares. It's not me even guaranteeing the money. They guarantee the money. You just got to read the prospectus. I don't know if I have one handy, but read the prospectus. It actually says it in the prospectus. Don't own this stock. It's built to go down, guaranteed. So just wait for the money. So between these two trades, right? And I don't care where the market goes. It doesn't matter. This trade has been working now, again, since inception. I think UVXY has been around since 2010. Maybe longer. Inception date. I can't really find it. History. I don't know. Let's see. Historical data. Oh, this could take forever. Wow, did they just spit out the entire run? Oh my God, it really did. Jesus. October 4th, 2020, 2012. I was right. So split adjusted price now. $121 trillion. 349,996,544,000. Split adjusted price. You know those people that actually think it's going to go back up there? Well, what if the market crashes? Can't UVXY go back to all-time highs? Yeah. Imagine it could for a second. Imagine the split adjusted high price of the stock. Sorry, it's more. 122 trillion. 122. I thought it was 20. It was 21. That was the low of the day that day. 122 trillion. 399 billion. 997 thousands. So it's 122 billion, not 122 trillion. Oh, that's a decimal point. So 7,000. That's a million. That's a million. It's a billion. 122 billion. Sorry. Anyway, what I've been doing, and I've already destroyed the idea, right? So what I've been doing is, if you take a look, you want to see something cool right now, and I can only say this right now. I am the open interest. I personally am the open interest in UVXY January 2025 $80 calls. Hi, how you doing? I'm the open interest. That's all me. Well, maybe not till I didn't check today, but As soon as it opened up and they created $80 calls, I started selling them. So talking about what? Talking about, huh? Talking about some land deals. So nobody wants to buy land. What are we talking about? Put that coffee down. What am I looking at? Oh yeah, open interest. Let's see. UVXY January 2025 calls with 269 days to go, and I will wait for every penny. Open interest is 104. There were 29 contracts today, so I'm not the entire open interest. But now look what they've done, right? They were selling them. I got done at 10 and 8, 950 and 9 and 8 and 850, 8 and a quarter. I got some done. I think it's 750 today, 7 and a quarter. The cheapest wanted to sell them for was $7. So they dropped the bid to 450. So now they're 450 by 7. You got to make your own market, which is fine. But let me tell you something about that massive short position I had on. It's down to the last 1,500 shares of the Qs. I had a ridiculous amount of in the money puts. I was naked in the money calls. That's how I shorted the Qs. In the money, slightly out of the money, slightly larger out of the money. Obviously, the ones that are closest to the money, I covered those first because those will start eating away at your profit. But I had sold, 450s, 475s, 500s, 525, 35, 55, 65. I even sold, way out to next year. I was selling premium. I do like 50 contracts. I was even going out to June of next year, 569.78. I was selling those for $5. They went down to like 3 and change. It wasn't a big trade, but I still got a couple of those. And then I got the closest I have now are March 555s. I'm still profitable because I sold them, before the market started tanking. So I sold these at 4 and a quarter. They're still at, 310, even though the market's rallied, the Qs have rallied 13 points. But more importantly, yesterday, Faux Show Bro and the Qs gave you an indication that the selling might be over. UVXY starts to tank. That's the confirmation. And here we are. Tesla numbers came out. They're all right. And the conversation I was having with you either this morning or it might have been last night. When I look at the market, and the reason I get in trouble shorting is that there are moments where I say to myself, all right, we've lost the leadership, right? How can the Qs go back, right? We lost to Netflix. We've lost Tesla, right? NVIDIA took a day off. Apple's kind of struggling. So I look, I'm like, hey, all right, so without Netflix and Tesla struggling, Apple can't get out of its own way. How the hell is the Qs going to go back to where they came from? Or for that matter, how are they going to continue to break new highs and go to whatever, like 555 and, well, the 555s are for March, or even 569.78 for next June, and you say to yourself, hey, there's no way that we're going to do that. And next thing you know, we're doing it. And that's why as soon as the market turned yesterday, I'm not waiting. Just like dumping my stocks that I think I'm going to own for a while, and then something changes and I sell them. I have no affinity towards holding positions. No desire. I'd rather just get into the GM, smack it down, make some money, call it a day. But I still feel that way. Right. But so far, Netflix has suddenly bounced 25 points, right? Just like that. Tesla, now you're up 15 off those lows. Apple, I'm about to buy 3 new phones. I know I am. They got me. It's a constant flow of money they're making there. I don't think Apple's ever going to be a bad stock. It might go stagnant like it is right now. But all that being said, somehow, some way, The Qs always break all-time highs. Always. And there's no way I'm going to be on the other side of that trade ever again. I'm never allowing the Qs to break all-time highs with me being short, even any of these naked calls. But I also sold premium 100 points out of the money on put side, when we were getting hammered. You were able to I got a $1.25 and a $1.50 for the June 2024s. They expire in 66 days. I sold. Again, not everybody could do this. I know you need some. The maintenance is on the maintenance requirement on this trade is only 20,000. You'd be surprised. But I sold 20 calls, 10 at 125, 10 at 140 and change. June 28th, 2024, 344.78. So when the Qs were down to, I thought the Qs were going to go to 385. Lowest possible this year would be 385. And they're selling the 344s for $1.25. I'll sell those. They're down 50% on this move. I'm not covering because I think those are going to expire worthless. But that's what I've been doing. That's how I've been generating some nice revenue. Every once in a while, I get a little greedy with the short side and I stay naked these calls, and that's where I get my ass kicked. But now I'm trading them, even though they're 100 points out of the money. I'm trading them as if I'm short the Qs. As soon as we turned yesterday, 416 started covering. 418.50 had to cover more. 420 had to cover more. And today, pretty much, down to the last 15 on the call side. I'm actually biased long, if you think about it, because I got 20 now left on the put side. I'm only short the 15. I got some SQQ. Yeah, I'm actually neutral at this point, which is fine because I think we're just going sideways. I think we're going to go sideways all summer. We'll see if I'm right. But the trade that continues to work. Today was, I did the video earlier, GM, phenomenal. And I traded this weird IPO that thank God I didn't get my ass kicked because I haven't traded anything but earnings and UVXY and Qs for weeks now. And I'm trying not to, because there's a million little these $3 stocks ripping all over the place. But there was some Neo NCI. Take a look at that chart. It's weird looking. And that's it. So if you guys are around, I'm probably going to do a schmooze on Thursday. The most important schmooze of the year, because I think that either was that the IBM Apple Day, or I forget what's happening Thursday. Some big numbers. And then next Thursday also. And then we'll be like knee deep in, we'll have Apple out of the way, and then Nvidia's at the end of the month. And then we're done. After Nvidia, most of the Qs will have reported, and we'll see where we're at. All right. Just want to hope you had a good day, and again, it's close to 7-8 points already on this UVXY short. Yeah, you had it. I started a little bit early. I started shorting at 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. I actually kind of expected it to go to 50 that night when Iran started shooting rockets off, and it didn't. So even just to get back to the 42.50 on UVXY, it's going to take an enormous event now, because UVXY, once it starts dying, it's just phenomenal how quickly it just disintegrates. It's just awesome. And it's also a great tool because when it does turn and starts to show stability, that is a heads up that the market might not be done with all of its selling. And according to Goldman Sachs, now I don't want to be on the side of Goldman Sachs. I hate it. But I'm with them right now. Goldman Sachs thinks that this sell-off isn't done. They think that this 2-day bounce is going to be sold into inevitably, and I think so too. I don't want to be on the same side as Goldman Sachs. But I am weary because Goldman Sachs don't know what they're talking about. They're not good market timers. Sure, they manipulate the market and they make more money than God, right? Because they manipulate the market and they have investment banking interest in everything, and they also launder the government's money. So Goldman Sachs will never lose. But if you look at their track record as far as stock recommendation and timing the market, they're fucking awful. And their awfulness is just, it's well documented, of course, with the AMD sell at $2.50. Is still the best call ever. I don't, yeah, still, yeah. The guy that wanted to short Carvana at 5 versus, no, the AMD Goldman Sachs, because they didn't say even, they said not just to sell it, they said it short it here at 5 because it's going to 0. AMD coming out of Goldman Sachs. So that was a worse call. Yeah, I think that was the worst call. Well, in my opinion, the best call ever. Anyway, I'll see you Thursday night, or if you haven't come to the room, I got a new password. Hopefully it works. Why don't you just show up? We're in flux right now. Join the website now. I got 100 million things going on. I got an app coming out. I got another website I'm about to launch. Newsletter finally. So everything I do and say will be in type and immortalized in a newsletter. So that'll be nice and beneficial. Just a lot more content. I'm actually going to leave my house once a week, probably go to the city, maybe start doing the profit or profit. Who, me? And yeah, because I got to get out of the house. I mean, I got to get out of the house. Seriously. Yeah, that's it. That's it, my friends. All right. Be good. Try to be nice to each other, and teach your children that if you support terrorism, you are a terrorist. And when the shit hits the fan in this country, and again, it's coming, and it's going to be real ugly. And if your kid is on the wrong side and they're burning flags in the streets, when we start marching through this country, wiping out our enemies, and your kid's going to be there, he's going to be on the wrong side of justice. So maybe you should teach your kids that if you're supporting Hamas and Palestinian terrorist organizations, when the shit hits the fan, they start celebrating about another terrorist attack. We're not going to forget. Never forget is now. Okay? Have a nice day.